All right, we're back with the Screen Team. We have, of course, Maisha with us. It's her movie selections. We've already got done reviewing the movie Cesario. How do you pronounce that?
Sicario.
That was close. That was close. We're now moving on to the brand new, spin-off of Rocky, the Rocky Balboa series. It's called Creed. And for those who don't know, in the first couple of Rocky movies, you had Rocky and his opponent, at least with the first two, was Apollo Creed, right?
Yep.
And the first one, spoiler alert, he loses to Apollo Creed. Second one, he wins. And the third one, I think Apollo trains him, right?
Yes, Apollo trains him.
To beat Mr. T.
Yeah. Classic movies.
Oh, man, they're all good. They're all good. But this one has to do with Creed's son, correct?
Yes, his illegitimate son that obviously his wife did not know about. Well, and he stars Michael B. Jordan.
Mm-hmm. Who did a great job, by the way.
He did a phenomenal job. Him and Ryan Coogler, they just meshed very well with acting and directing. They did great on Fruitvale Station.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, a completely different vibe for that movie. But Creed, even the young boy, I'm not sure who plays young Creed, but he did a great job with how channeling that anger and that rage that you have of your father not being there and nobody understanding you.
Yeah.
And I thought Michael B. Jordan did a fantastic job as being older, and he had that wealth at his hands and this easy job, and he was good at it, but he just had that drive to fight. And wrestling with being angry with a father that was never there due to no fault of his own, really.
Well, I mean, yes. I mean, he was like, "Hey, I'll fight you, Russian guy," and then
he didn't think. I don't think he thought he was going to die in the ring. However, let's see, he didn't go into it blind.
Right.
But he had this anger, and I think a lot of people can identify with that. Like, I know I shouldn't be angry because you're not here to answer my questions, but I am. So instead, I'm just going to take it out on the guy in the ring, and he was really, really, really good. I thought it had great dynamic. I loved Stallone in it. I was glad that he had a lot of meat, not just I knew your dad and I'll train you. He had a real story, and I really loved it. Yeah,
I liked how you mentioned earlier, and I like this concept for the film. With the Rocky series, you had the Rocky Balboa rags to riches kind of story, and this one obviously. Creed starts off with the rags to riches story, and then he gets the riches, but that's not what drives him. He, like you said, the not having the father there, and wanting to have something of his own is what drove him in this movie. He didn't want to be Creed's son,
right? And I loved that. Felicia Rashad, for one, she did a phenomenal job, even though her part wasn't huge. Mm-hmm. She played a huge role in who he was, and
that was basically. That wasn't his biological mom.
No.
That was Creed's wife, and it became. She didn't have to do that. She didn't have to take him in, and she did. And I thought that was a cool part to the story as well. I really like the boxing in this movie. I like the way that it was filmed. When you watch some of the early Rocky movies, you can tell when a fake punch is being thrown, and you see them dodge out of the way. The camera work was so intimate, especially in the boxing scenes. They were just so well done. I was really impressed because it felt like you were right there in the ring.
Oh yeah.
You were like a third person there watching these two guys hit on each other. So
it was visceral.
Yeah, I thought that was really, really well done. The fighting scenes in this movie. One of my favorite scenes in this film is when Stallone kind of agrees to take on his Creed's training program to be his trainer, and he's like, "Okay, here's what I want you to work on. I want you to." He's got out this piece of paper, and he's like, "Okay, I want you to do this and do that and blah blah blah." And Creed's like, "Okay," and he gets out his phone and he takes a picture of the instructions that Rocky had drawn up for him. And Rocky's like, "Hey, you want this paper?" And he's like, "No, I got it. I got it on my phone. It's in the cloud." And he's like, "What's the cloud?" He's looking it up, and it was a well done scene. Do you have any favorite scenes?
I have quite a few favorite scenes actually. One of the last scenes when he gets the Creed boxing shorts, and and he's in that fight, and that he's just getting the the business handed to him, but he just keeps getting up. And I think that was the theme throughout the entire movie. Is like he emotionally had felt he was knocked down multiple times, but he just kept coming back. I also love the scene when he finds out Stallone is sick.
Oh yeah.
And he just decides, I'm gonna give up. Like, and he says, "You can't give up because I won't give up. Like, if I keep fighting, you have to fight." And I just thought that was a poignant part of the movie, because you kind of felt like something was wrong with Rocky. Like he had to be sick on some level. But even thinking it throughout the entire movie, when you get there and you find out like he is very sick and he decides, I'm not going. If I die, I die. He needed a Creed in order to keep him pushing, to keep him living again.
Yeah.
And I thought their dynamic was phenomenal throughout the entire movie.
They both needed each other.
They did.
I like I'm trying to find the actress's name in here. Let's see here. Tessa Thompson is her name, and she's
great.
She's a lady I've never heard of before, but I thought she was phenomenal. She kind of plays the Adrian kind of role,
definitely.
you know, not your typical beauty queen kind of love interest in this film, even though she's very beautiful. She was like a kind of like a jazz singer kind of thing.
Yeah. She has a great voice.
Yeah.
She had a great voice. I just like that when he acted out at her show, he thought, just apologizing and, I'm sorry, just let me in, come talk to me. I like that she stood her ground, like, no, you messed up, just leave.
Right.
You want this fight world, but leave it in the ring. That was unnecessary, and you ruined my night.
Yeah.
And I liked her. I thought she was a strong character. They gave her own little bit of meat. She wasn't just the pretty lady that is worried about him getting hurt in a ring.
Right.
She had her own stuff to worry about.
Yeah, she did phenomenal in this role. Michael B. Jordan was great. Sylvester Stallone was nominated for an Academy Award for his performance as Rocky Balboa. And the director, Ryan Coogler, did a great job as well. So, obviously, with this movie doing so well, I haven't heard of anything, but if they do decide to do an Apollo 2, are you down? Because they're going to do it.
I know they're definitely going to do a Creed 2. I'll watch it. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to go in with my expectations really high. I mean, I've seen every Rocky movie, and I became increasingly disappointed later on.
Yeah.
But I stuck through. So I'll watch it. I'm just going to go in with, I hope it's decent.
Yeah.
Because that's a lot to write off of.
Well, this one is definitely better than decent. It's very, very well done movie. It's got some of your themes, your favorite characters in it, but it's got a new spin. It's called Creed, and you can find it on DVD. Coming up after the break, we are going straight out of Compton. It's coming your way next, right here on KWOC.